Good morning, guys. Welcome to Words from a Friend podcast. I'm your host, Marty Carey, and this is the podcast that follows my book, Words from a Friend, a daily guide to a purposeful life. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We're on a 365-day inner journey together, so happy and grateful to have you along. We're on day 89 of that journey, and today's message is a crooked path to success. A crooked path to success. And it goes like this. Ask any entrepreneur how they finally reach their goals, and you'll find a common thread. A crooked path. What do I mean? When you admire someone for the success they've achieved, we tend to think of it as a linear path. There's a straight line all the way to the top, but that's really not how it is. It's definitely not how it is. Steps in a straight line until their goal was attained. Similar to running a race, jumping over each hurdle while the tape at the end is in sight. This is more the exception than the rule. It's definitely more the exception than the rule. You've only known where they began and how they are now in the catbird seat. The stuff in between was the real gold. The stuff in between, the process, in the process. There's gold in them thar hills in that process. That's why we stay present in these present moments and appreciate each step. It's in the appreciation of each step that we find our joy. We find our joy in the process. Because if we're complaining our way to the top, we're missing a lot of joy along the way. It's in the creating of the painting, each little part. You kind of have a vision for the end of how this drawing of yours wants to be. But man, each one of those strokes that you take is very important. And give each one of it your gold. Each one of it your love. Each step your light. So that in each step, your quality is in each step. Your quality of your presence, your focus, your light. You're putting it on there. Okay, I'm doing my best in this step. In this step. And then you make those, that's how your formula is for your days. Noticing each step. Stopping to smell the roses of your own creations, right? That's what it is. Stop and smell the roses of the creation that you're creating, whatever that is. Even in your day and your relationships. Put a little more presence in everyone, everything, right? You'll see. There's gold there. There's gold there when you pay attention and you're not just stuck in your mind. You're not just stuck in your mind. You're thinking about other things, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, hey, how are you? Because you got some story whipping around in there, right? We all do that. Presence is what we're looking for. So we put our quality self when we're present. We're not half-hearted about it. We're not half-minded about it. We're focused. And in that focus is a lot more power. A lot more creative energy, power, light, and love in that focus. Your attention, when you give your attention to somebody and they're saying, and it's important for them to give you this message or saying something to you, but you're like, half in, hey, oh yeah, right, oh yeah, right, okay. You're going to miss it. There's something in there that they need from you. Probably something that, most of all, your attention, just so they can feel that they've been heard. It's so they feel they've been heard. So don't you want to be heard when you want to be heard? So you give that attention, proper attention. Be a great audience. Be a great audience is being present in whatever moment that you're in. Not that you're going to be there for 1,000 years, but give your attention to that, give your best to that, and that's all that's required. That's all that's required. And you go away and go, oh, yeah, but that was nothing. That was, it was nothing. No, it was something. It was something. You gave your good self to that. Don't think it doesn't mean anything. Don't think that's not adding light to the world. It's in the small things that we just don't give any attention to that mean a lot. That mean a lot more than you think. All right? So if you're thinking in the terms of success in your life, well, everybody has a different way of measuring success. Measuring success. Most people just measure success in terms of money, right? And that financial success. But boy, I'll tell you what, if that's just it in your life, then you're missing the boat. You're missing the boat because love is the success. Harmony is the success. Perseverance is the success. All the stuff on your way to your dream is how you build that inner success, that successful human, that one that is compassionate, empathetic, because you've been to places on your way to that crooked path to success that is just banging you off of stuff sometimes. It's just like, man, is this even worth it? And then you're like, okay. Then you overcome another hurdle. You go, all right, I see the goal again. I see it again. There it is, right? So it is like that. And you got to have your best self, and you got to put the quality into every part and piece and stroke of the pen, of the paintbrush in there. That's how you paint a beautiful life, with intention, purpose, deliberately, with a definition of just that, not something so specific, just I'm going to live a loving, happy, beautiful, abundant life. Okay, God? That's it. That's where I want. So how do I go about receiving that? I have to be those things. I have to embody those things. I see the abundance in everybody out there. You can see it. It's when those lights are turned on, or when they're loving somebody, or they're crying over somebody that they lost. It's their abundance. It's their love. Your love is your abundance. Your love quotient is where you find the real abundance in life. And you come back to the fact that it is the real simple things that mean the most. It is really the stuff that's free in life that makes us the most successful, when we realize that. It's like, yeah, you can have this and you can have that, and man, that's great. It's nice. But after that, how many people have you seen have all of that and they're empty shells, or their life is a mess, or they're in jail, right? All of that stuff, because you think that that's the measure of success, when really the measure of success is how you treat other people on your way to where you want to be in your own success. Okay? You lift others up along the way. You recognize the people that have lifted you up along the way. And you give, you reciprocate wherever you can. You pay it forward wherever you can. So you keep that wheel of goodwill moving in your creations. In all of your creations, your love is put into them. Whatever that is, your relationship with your partner, your spouse, it's a creation. It's a creation. It's like, there's a lot of work in there. There's a lot of work in everything that we want. But how do you get it in the physical world? How do you get it? You got to be a real combination of spirit and the physical machine, right? Let the ghost, the soul, run the machine, so that your quality is going into everything that you do. You're alchemizing. You're putting your gold into every area of your life in forms of seeds every day, in these little actions, in these little words that you speak to people, in the little ways that we go about treating others mindfully, because really our job is to add light to the world. It's just to add our own version of it, our own beautiful way we do it. Just your way, the way you do it. That funny little way that you do it, that beautiful little way you do it, that really kind way you do it. That's it. Stay in that energy. Then stay out of the bullshit, right? Have a focused intention. I don't want to be on the roller coaster. Well, stay more intentional in that light. Turn down the noise of the world. Boy, I'll tell you, after a while you go, oh man, I used to have to catch up on everything. I used to have to catch up on who's being bombed and who I have to hate today. Who's the enemy of the day, right? You don't need to keep up with that. You really don't. Not when you focus on what you're really here for. Your success. Your most successful self wants to bring the best to the world, not just to yourself. Not just to yourself. Oh no. True success is not about yourself. True success is realizing that you're a part of a greater success that created you, right? That created you and says, you know what? In order for you to get what you need, I want you to spread my light. I want you to spread my light. And help other people to remember to spread theirs, because that's the only way we fix this place. Just bring it to light. Bring all the darkness into the light and live in a much, much brighter world for ourselves and those that come after. And you have to have that worldview in light, not worldview in politics. Worldview in politics just keeps the matrix in place. So get out of your political mindset. Get out of that. Go above it. Go above it. Okay? Yeah, there you go. Okay. Now what? Now what's my job? Because the light's already won. Start spreading it. Start spreading that. because it's already won, and you have to be as if it's already won. You have to be in your life with what you're creating as if you already have it. If you already have it, it's there. I can see it. I know I'm going to paint it. It's already done. I just have to do the steps to it. And I don't even have to know each step. Honestly, I just have to take the first one, and God goes, okay, now you know what you needed from there. Second, third, fourth. Boom, you hit some kind of an obstacle. Okay, that's all right. We're going to take a little minute here. We're going to stay calm, and we're going to show you a way around it, through it, up it, over it, whatever. It'll come. It'll come. It comes with the trust. It comes with the faith. It's that you wouldn't have brought me this far just to crush me like a bug, God. I know that. So I know there's an answer forthcoming. I know there's an answer forthcoming. We just have to stay in faith, do what we know we can do, and rest in assurance. Rest in assurance of the light that we're walking in and walking with as our co-creator, partner, number one buddy. Your number one buddy is your light. Your BFF is your light. You know that. You embody that. It's going to bring you everything you need. Okay? Bring you everything you need. That's your BFF. God is your BFF. You already have it in here. Heaven within is the BFF. Getting back to this where we feel great. Like, oh, there's my BFF. Right. Being a BFF to yourself is first and foremost. First and foremost. That's it. Fill your cup first. Then it'll overflow. Try and fix everybody else's cup. Your cup's going to remain empty. It's not your job to control. Not your job to control others. It isn't. It's your job to raise yourself. Because if you're working on yourself, everybody else is going to feel that, see it, know it, and you're going to be more attractive. You're going to be more attractive to be around and collaborate with, But it's when we don't, we're not moving in that path that we can become dull. We can not resonate with our own light. We can be self-sabotaging within, self-hating, all that other stuff. Excuse making, procrastination, promises not kept, all of those things that live in the land of, I just don't give a shit anymore about anything. Yeah, okay, the ego can take you there. Yeah, we can all be there, can't we? The world can take us there in an instant. But that's not what we're here for. We are spiritual warriors of light. That's what we are. So your job is simple, yet it can be hard, and it can be hard in this world because you think nobody's appreciating it. But I'm going to tell you something. We are appreciating it. I appreciate when I see people spreading light online rather than bullshit. Finally, they're coming out. They're coming up and out and going, oh yeah, okay, I see the game now. I see the game. Okay. My job is very clear to me now. It's very clear. It's just help people remember that they are the good stuff, and we can live together in that realm above all the bullshit. We all remember that we're the light. The darkness doesn't stand a chance. Okay, reaching any goal in life, especially the goal of bringing something totally new and unique into the world, will be a crooked path of uncharted territory, the unknown. Everything in front of us is the unknown. We have to embrace the unknown. Embrace it like an adventure, like we're going to Disney, Universal Studios. We've never been there, but we're excited about it. We become excited, right? We know it's going to be a ride. We know there's going to be things there that are going to scare us, some scary rides even, but we're still going, aren't we? Because it's an adventure. It's something we haven't done before. Well, that's life. That's all of life when you look at it that way. And you approach it from, well, I'm unlimited. I'm unlimited, so what do I want to do? What is it that I see myself doing? Where are my natural talents lie? Because where they are, you'll find purpose. You'll find your purpose where your natural talents lie. Explore those. Bust them out, baby. Bust them out. Do not die with your music left inside. Do not die with those talents left inside of you. Do not bury those talents. It is not why you're here. It is not why you're here. You do not bury those. God says, I planted those in there. Time for those to grow. Open up, baby. Open up. Open up. There's way more in there that you need to know about yourself. Way more talent in there. Way more stuff going on in there that you're going to explore yourself. You're going to explore yourself. That's what you get to do here in the physical dimension. Explore yourself through a physical human experience. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Just get good at it. Get good at it, because once you remember who you are, you're going to get good at it, because now you're going to have more fun in life. You're going to say, I don't have to take things as seriously. You know what I mean? I got a co-partner. Loves me, always behind me, always rooting me on, always cheerleading. I just have to take advantage of that truth. I just have to take advantage of that truth every day. And how do I take advantage of it? I remember it first thing every morning. I remember that truth every morning, and I give thanks for it. Thanks. I got another day here. I shook my Etch-a-Sketch, all the stuff from yesterday, gleaned the gold from yesterday, had a nice day yesterday. I'm going to bring forth what was good about yesterday, if I'm going to bring anything forth. Otherwise, I'm leaving it all behind. And I'm just creating what I want to create today, in every moment. And guess what I'm going to use? I already know what I'm going to use. I don't have to question it. I don't even have to question what it's going to say. I don't have to question what my light's going to say. I only have to question what my ego's going to say, and I've gotten good at giving space before that. I let those lips start chattering. You get good at it because you start being discerning about yourself, self-awareness, self-responsibility. Not being perfect, being okay with being imperfect. You're okay if you're wrong. It doesn't matter if you're wrong. Okay, sorry, I was a dunderhead there. Thanks for the information. Now, I got a new piece of gold in there. I don't have to take anything personally, which I didn't know. We all don't know. We all don't know a lot. My God, what don't we know is more than what we do know. So, we don't have to act perfect. We don't have to be perfect. We just have to be who we are, the authentic self. But when you realize that the most authentic part of that is your light, then you start being guided from that, rather than thinking you got to control everything and everyone. But there's your freedom. Your freedom lies within that. Your freedom lies within knowing that you're a soul traveler in eternity. You don't need to control anybody or anything. You just need to figure out what it is that's good for you, keeps you in that vibe, and move with that. You may have to leave old things, old ways, all of that stuff, but you have the strength to do it. You have every strength in there to do it. It's about just getting the cojones up and just making that first move. And go, woo, I just made the first one. Okay, I can't believe I did it, but I did it. And then there's the juice. There's the juice. Keep that self-motivation going. Keep it going. You're the one that brings the self-motivation. Self-motivation isn't easy, but boy, when you get good at it, it's like, all right, I hear that ego. That is my enemy this morning. It wants me to stay here. It wants me to do nothing. It wants me to sulk. It wants me to sit in anger or depression or all of that stuff. No. N-O capital exclamation points. That's it. No. That's the voice I go. That's a puny voice when I put my true self in front of it and go, I'm getting up. I'm taking that shower. I'm doing that exercise. I'm doing that thing. I'm writing those things that I want to write down. I'm going to start that book. I'm going to start that painting. I'm going to do whatever that is that keeps me up in knowing that I am a creative artist of my own life. And I will stay true to that for this whole ride. I will stay true to that for this whole ride. And the light always has the answer. It always has the answer. And it may not be in the time that you think it should, but that's your ego. That's your impatient ego. Let that settle down, like I said, like the muddy water. Let that settle down. Calm, knowing that the answer is upon you. Okay? The answer is upon you. You've asked for it. Now, you wouldn't keep asking for it if somebody was there and said, okay, I'm going to give you the answer. Just give me a second. Give me a second. I'm going to bring you the best way. Stay in faith. Stay in faith. Okay? All right. The myth of a straight, smooth road to success is why most people give up on their dreams. They view it as too hard or not worth it. There must be an easier way to make a living, is where most people will stop and choose the safe road. Safe is fine for some, but it usually does not lead to greatness or new gifts you are meant to bring forth from within. From within, we can get too comfortable. Right? And there is always a little bit of a climb to have while you're here. There is. It's always going to happen. Your soul's always going to want a little more of a climb in whatever. So if you're going by your soul, it's like, oh, no, you can. There's still more here. So always be curious about the more inside that you have. All right? If you're still breathing, put a smile on your face. Maybe that's the only purpose there is to be a smile for somebody else. That's still a great purpose. You're still giving light. And that's it. The rocks on either side of the supposed straight path will be the ones you learn your greatest lessons from and the ones that uncover your gifts. Never shy away from these challenges. You know, those rocks. They're telling you what to avoid, but they're a hard lesson. They are. There's no doubt about that. But boy, that's what teaches you to sail, doesn't it? Teaches you to sail. You gotta know those things. You take them into consideration, but you don't fear going through the journey. No, it's where you hone your chops. What's sharpening. That's what's sharpening your or pressing you down and making that piece of coal into a diamond that you really are. You know, the pressure of those rocks. But then you come out because you had to. You had to do it. You had to go through it. You didn't have any choice, and you brought your best to it. All right. You may not have thought you brought your best to it, but you tried like hell to bring your best to it. You know, the light sees that too, man. And then, you know, it is in there that we prepare ourselves for more in life, that we're able to be more of a teacher then. Because once we've come through those things as the student, the other side we can talk about. All right, these are the things that I did to keep myself afloat during those times. And this is what I learned in that dark, crooked tunnel. And these are things that I learned. But now I've sharpened those with those rocks. I've sharpened my blade with those rocks. And now I can cut through a lot of those old seeming obstacles. Slice right through them because, seen you before. No, you're not going to bring me down. You didn't bring me down before. You're not going to bring me down now. So I have a better way. I just have to listen for it. And here it comes. Here it comes. I'll turn over some stones, see what's under those, or it'll just come to me in another way. But either way, I'm trusting. Either way, I'm trusting that it will be there. The rocks on either side of the supposed straight path will be the ones you learn your greatest lessons from and the ones that uncover your gifts. Never shy away from the challenges. Yes, they will feel uncomfortable, sometimes bringing you to the edge of a very scary cliff. But if you are faithful, awake, and doing your best to trust, you will recognize this cliff as an illusion to get you to turn back instead of plow forth. It's like, no, don't go back to the way. Go back to the ignorance. No, we can't let you go through here. You're going to be bigger than you were before. You know? Bust through that door. Kick that door open. Get into that new thing you're going to do. Trust yourself. Trust yourself that the way will be created for you as long as you trust yourself forward. You got to trust yourself forward. And what self you're trusting is your higher self, and that higher self is going to lead you to better decisions, better choices. You're going to be very much more discerning about where you are, who you're around, all that stuff on your way forward. And just saying, I have a mission here, a beautiful one that God put in me, and I am here to see it through. So anything that's seemingly in front of me, they're just phantoms. Mental phantoms. Psh, psh. Out of the way with faith, trust, belief, fortitude, determination, perseverance, can do, God energy, God speed, spirit. Spirit overcomes it all. Spirit is the water, is the ether all around us, right? It is water we can't see, but there's water in the air. That water is miracle. You know, we're mostly water. We feel good when we're in it, around it. That and mixed with the sun and the earth and the sky. We are all of those things. So we have to learn to stay in a state of gratitude on our way to where we want to be. And that is the Godspeed. That is the Godspeed, is in gratitude. Because we are being grateful and smelling the roses, which is what God wants us to do. Smell those along the way. You know, you've come to another little chapter of your life, and you did great. You did great. Keep going. You feel good doing that? Good. Let's do more of that. Let's do more of that. And that's it. You're being led. You're being led. The voice of God, the voice of the light inside is subtle and soft. It's not the one that's clanging around in your head going, you better do this, you got to get moving. You suck. The voice in your head you think is God that's saying you suck. That is not God. That's your own ego. That's your own ego. God is nothing but a cheerleader for you. God says you can. Let's go. Giddy up. Let's get up off that ground. Let's do those things you can. But you got to be love. You got to be love to get through all these things. Or you're a big banging rock man from Fantastic Four. You're just banging around everything to get it done instead of just woohoo, smooth traveling. Smooth traveling as it can be. More like water. Be like water. Okay? Not like the rocks. The water can break through the rocks in any crevice. You can get anywhere, do anything. It's just like spirit. It's the same thing. All right? So the CTA today is jump out of your old crooked trail. Listen and learn from the rocks you hit. There is much or more responsible for your dogged determination and subsequent success. Celebrate all successes, big and small. It's always a clear recognition of what the darkness shows that leads us back to the light of all success. This book was given to me. It was mentioned yesterday. I was in the dark. Man, crushed like a bug in my own mind. I know you've been there. A fun place to be. And we can create ourselves right out of that. We can. Believe in yourself. Believe that God has a bigger plan for you than that, and that you're not meant to stay there or stay small in any way. You're not meant to be small at all. You're the universe. You're the universe. You're the light. The light is not small. It's the greatest, most loving, unconditionally loving force in the universe. And you're a cup of it. And when we start moving in that truth, our life just changes and transforms. It transforms us. Therefore, it transforms what's inside. Therefore, what's outside must also transform. It will transform. Your relationships will transform, or the ones that aren't serving will fall away. All of these things happen when you start walking in a new vibration, a higher vibration of love. Okay? And it's more calm space. That's the best part. It's not like, oh, love, it's got so much. No. Love is calm. Love is confident. Love is just self-assured because it knows it's love. It's the everything. It's the things that makes the trees outside and everything you see. Everything you see is that, made from that same substance. So when we use that substance as our way, we're using our true substance, our true eternal forever self, to bring us to whatever we desire, or whatever we desire will want to come to us, because it's in that same sphere of energy. Ah, that beautiful sun, that beautiful light, that beautiful calm, peace. Peace. After all the turbulence in this world. I don't think most of us even really know what peace feels like. Not true peace. Not that peace. If you've been doing that meditation practice and stuff like that for a while, yeah. Transcendental stuff, yeah. But man, we're just the average Joe, we're just starting to work on that stuff. Even the little piece that you cultivate will be gold. It will be gold. That's why I say smell the roses is just becoming more calm, more centered, more confident, not arrogant, confident in yourself that I'm aligning with what I really have to be confident about, but so do you. So does everybody. And when we're all confident about that, all the bullshit, the fear falls away. Falls away because we know we're not it. We remember together. That's the awakening. We remember together, and we're remembering together at a much faster pace than ever before, and that's the blessing. That's the blessing. That's the rise inside. That's the second coming. That's Christ consciousness rising from within each of us. Within each of us, we know things we didn't think we knew because we can feel them as truth. Because we can feel them as truth. It's a feeling universe. We can overthink. But when we know calm, when we know a peaceful place within, we never want to leave that place. It's because it's just like, that's the heaven within. We don't have to go through all the hubbub to get to where we want to be. We have the magic inside of us just to bring it into our experience, just by being in the level of consciousness that lives there. Okay? All right, so use love as your constant GPS on the road. Love for yourself when you feel like listening to the judge. Love the challenges that are there for you and rise up to the top. Love is what makes you rise to the challenge and say, okay, I got to face this. I'm going to knock it out of the park. If I'm facing it, I'm going to knock it out of the park. I'm bringing love to it somehow. I may have to sit here for a little while and let that initial crap calm down before I can hear love's answer. But that is what I will do. That is what I will do. If I don't have time for that, love will send me the answer quick. If I need it like that. After practicing and listening to what love would say, it just becomes, okay, this is my normal response. Instead of reacting, I have a response now. A response. And it's space. Even if it's milliseconds, it's space. that I'm now aware of, that I can do it. And it is, what's better right here? What's better? Screaming ego, I want to say. Or can I bring love and light to this and just change the whole scenario right here? Right here. You can do that. You have that power. So once you realize it, you just want everybody to know their love. It's all part of the delicious divine journey into who you are meant to become. Go get it. You can do it. Never give up and never give in. You're incredible. You're incredible. It's not so much, and even it's not so much as becoming and stripping away that no longer belongs, because you're already it under there. You're becoming that true self because you're saying, God, take these old bags out of here. You know what I mean? All these old files of doom and gloom and, wishing other people this and that and the other thing that isn't good and all that stuff, revenge and victim mindset. Woe is me, living low energy, blah, blah. None of us feel good there. None of us feel good. And we are the light, so we have every right to live in it because we are it. It's just remembering. So today, remember a little bit more, okay, and help others to do the same. All right, guys, much love and light, and we'll see you tomorrow.